Yes, let's start, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I visible?
Yes, you're visible.
Thank you. So, good day, everyone. My name is Trixhamelis B. Malabanan. Together with me is my partner, Jolina Makatangan. And today, we will be sharing and discussing our research study entitled Emergence of Virtual Events During COVID-19 Pandemic. One of the most significant events in the history is when the whole wide world undergone lockdown due to the pandemic coronavirus disease 2019. This pandemic affected a lot of industries, and one of which is the MICE industry. The need for caution and social distancing results to the adaptability and digitalization of events. Even though several industries have been severely impacted by the ongoing global health crisis, MICE industries still continue developing new strategies to meet the market's current needs. Because of COVID-19 pandemic, the industry accelerated digital trends such as the virtual events. Most of the consumer exhibitions, conventions, and meetings now embrace a virtual event format. Venue for events during pandemic innovated from physical to hybrid and virtual options with enhanced technology infrastructures and flexible settings. Virtual events are a powerful tool to pull through with this crisis and prepare for future ones. This will allow more flexibility and sustainability in the MICE industry.
So moving on to our objectives, this study aims to measure the emergence of virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic. Moreover, to describe the profile of the respondents in terms of number of events they attended, nature of the events, and the platforms used. Next is to determine the customer's perception about participating virtual events in terms of convenience, socializing, visuals, and efficiency, and the problems they encountered. Next is to test the significant difference on the emergence of the virtual events when grouped according to profile and to propose an action plan based on the results of the study. For the methods, research design, this research used the descriptive survey method by the researcher to assess the emergence of virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic in Batangas province. The multiple choice questions used in the descriptive method gives the respondents the attributes from which they choose and enable the researchers to connect the choices of the respondents with the study. Next is the respondents of the study. The survey was conducted among the customers who experienced attending virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic, specifically in Batangas province. The respondents were selected through a simple random sampling method based on the population of the study. A sample size of 215 was computed with an effect size of 30%, a power probability of 95%, and an alpha level of 5% using G power 3.1.9, a priori type of power analysis.
So for the data gathering instrument, the instrument used in the study was an adapted survey questionnaire. It undergone pilot testing for internal consistency and was validated by the experts. The implementation of Data Privacy Act was also considered as the study is being conducted. The first part of the questionnaire highlighted the psychographic profile of the respondents. It includes the numbers of online events they attended since April 22, nature of the events, and the platforms they use. The second part covered the agreement ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree in terms of determining the customer's perspective on the emergence of virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic. This includes convenience, socializing, visuals, efficiency, and lastly is the problems encountered. For the data analysis, the responses were tallied, encoded, and analyzed using different statistical tools. This includes frequency count, which was used to get the number of times that each variable occurred. The next one is the mean and standard deviation, which are used in getting the difference between the weighted mean of each variables. Shapiro-Wilk test was used to get normality test, the hypothesis, and the difference according to profile. All the data were treated using statistical software SPSS version 26 to further interpret the results of the study at 0.05 alpha level. The next part that we'll be discussing is the results and discussion of the study. Table 1 represents the respondents' profile based on the online events they have attended since April 2020. The result shows that 66.50% of the respondents has attended 1 to 10 online events, which generates the highest percentage among the other indicators. Regardless of the hype circling around the online conference, a lot of attendees still do not take them as an easy replacement to live events. On the nature of online events, webinars get the highest percentage of 58.10%. Webinars, which are commonly used, video conferencing tools that authorize Q&A, and capability to present live or pre-recorded video. The table shows that most of the events attended by the respondents are through Zoom video communication and Microsoft Teams, which both gained the highest percentage of 47.90. As the coronavirus pandemic urged millions of people to stay home over the past months, Zoom communications suddenly became the video meeting service that has the highest demand. It is now considered as one of the most popular free software applications worldwide. Next is the Table 2.1. Table 2.1 presents the customer's perspective about the participants' virtual events in terms of convenience. Among the items cited, participate without paying for or paying a reduced registration fee got the highest weighted mean score of 3.32. Engaging to a non-payment or a free charge event creates a big impact into the number of people partaking into the event. However, the indicator participates in number of different events in a single week got the lowest mean values of 2.95. The customers seem to be not affected by the conveniency in terms of the number of the events that they are participating, as it is accessible in any time of the day. The data on Table 2.2 shows that the customer's perspectives on emergence of virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic in terms of socializing, opportunity to interact, communicate, and exchange thoughts and ideas with other participants during open forum session got the highest rank with a weighted mean of 3.28. Interacting with other participants is a great opportunity when socializing during an event because speakers and attendees have the freedom to discuss, explain, and interact with other participants. At every end of this session, an open forum is needed in order for the speakers can answer all your questions. Meanwhile, opportunity to network with the speakers on one-on-one basis got the lowest rank with a weighted mean of 3.05. Some participants can have the opportunity to do a one-on-one with the speaker, but unfortunately, not all the participants have the chance to experience it. Having an opportunity to do a one-on-one
Tricia, excuse me, you have three more minutes, please.
with the speaker can help the participants to understand the topic being discussed and have the time to ask their questions to the speakers.
So for the next table, table 2.3 presents the customer's perception in participating virtual events in terms of visuals. The respondents are satisfied with regards to above indicators having the composite mean of 3.20 and verbal interpretation of agree. Among the items cited, visual presentation that combine PowerPoint slides with videos got the highest weighted mean score of 3.48. PowerPoint presentation itself is already a highly successful tool for learning and providing information, but the use of videos and multimedia has also been proven to be useful instrument in boosting the listener's concentration and in making a presentation more appealing and interesting. Utilizing PowerPoint slides and videos will undoubtedly be able to provide the audience with a high quality presentation. Next one to table 2.4. Table presents the customer perception in participating virtual events in terms of efficiency. The composite mean of 3.28 indicates that the respondents agreed on the above indicators. Among the items cited, the use of virtual technology within event is cost efficient in relation to transportation, food and beverage, and overnight accommodation get the highest weighted mean of 3.29. With the virtual events, the participants will only need a laptop and a stable internet connection. The necessity to spend money in travel and accommodation have been eliminated. The results showed that the virtual events effectively minimize the cost spent by the attendee in participating in an event. However, the use of technology is time efficient with the low mean values of 3.28. The amount of time spent in attending a virtual event is just the same as attending in an in-person event. The duration of programs being held in virtual events is similar to face-to-face interaction. In addition, attendees' attention span when using digital device is shortened and the level of interest is low, which is why they tend to get bored easily and assume that the event is lengthy.
Sorry, I'm interrupt your presentation. I need you only 3 minutes to presentation because your presentation is quite long, right? Okay, yes. Can you skip to the conclusion or some, any? Okay, please.
Our research study's conclusion was based on the findings that the researchers come up with. 1. Majority of the respondents attended 1 to 10 online events. 2. It was revealed that the respondents strongly agreed that in terms of convenience, participating without paying for or paying a reduced registration fee is what they savor the most. In terms of socializing, having the opportunity to interact, communicate, and exchange thoughts and ideas with other participants is what they prefer in an event. Number 3, Jelena.
Number 3, the results showed that in terms of problems encountered by the respondents, poor internet connection from home or office is the most common factor that affects participants in virtual events. Findings showed that there is a significant difference observed on the emergence of virtual events when grouped according to profile. It was measured that the visuals, convenience, and efficiency are the main factors that influence participants attending a virtual event. Lastly, an action plan was proposed to measure the emergence of virtual events during COVID-19 pandemic. Next is for the recommendation.
Okay. Please, Ajahn Noelah, please give some recommendations.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your nice presentation and interesting point. I think one thing that you mentioned in your objective that you like to explore the profile of people who are using mice, but I didn't see you mention a characteristic or profile of the participant in mice industry clearly. You give many interesting points, but not really the profile like education or group or occupation, something like that. And that may be kind of some advantage and limitation by different groups. If you tell us about the profile, we can see that why your results come out. It seems to me that this is very efficient by everyone and like what we are doing here too. and the trend is going to be more using even after the COVID. But your question, I'm not sure, do you have asking people about this kind of opinion, some kind of perception about trend in the future, or limitation or problems they face? So that can be a kind of recommendation for policy if you know some problems, and especially the one who may have limitation in terms of accessing to technology, this kind of thing. And that's why I didn't see you classify the group of using it, but you mentioned in your objective. But in general, it's very interesting results because it shows many things that we think that it may come like that. But if you have open more questions about training the future and education, and also how it make accessible for everyone to make it more inclusive, that's gonna be interesting. So now the floor is open for other comments and suggestions.
Any question? Any question? Maybe nobody would like to ask. Maybe we have to say thank you. Some friends from the Philippines. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jolina, right? Aya and Mary, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.